Today, I'm going to show you what's in my dive bag. A lot of you guys are interested in how this bag is packed and its content, so today we're gonna dive in. Let's get started. All right, I'm not gonna do this in any order, but at least the first two items are essential to any of your water activities, such as snorkeling, free diving, scuba diving. The mask would be, to me, in my opinion, the most important, because if this isn't functioning, the rest of your dive is pretty much ruined, right? So let's take a look at the mask. Personally, I dive with a low volume mask. These are considered either low volume or free diving masks. I think the most important thing is that it fits your face. When you go find a mask, the thing to look for is that you can place this mask on your face and it won't move, even without the strap. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna just place the mask on my face, press it in, and let go. As you can see, it's not falling off, even when I tug on it. That is a sign of a good mask for your face. Everybody's face is unique and shaped in different ways, and different masks work for different people. So that's the most important thing. As you can see, I have a dive mask bag, which protects my mask while it's inside my bigger bag. It keeps it from getting the glass scratched up or even, you know, taking on any impact. In this bag, I also have my SharkBanz, which goes on my ankle for protection against sharks. Does it work? Well, we have yet to see, right? I haven't had any run-ins, so we'll say that it works. You can look them up online, SharkBanz with a Z, B-A-N-Z. I'll leave a link in the description below. Along with this has a pocket on the side, and this is usually where I keep my defog. I currently don't have any in here because it's tucked away in this big bag. But what usually happens is I keep my defog in the side pocket so that when I pull the mask out and I'm ready to use it, I pop some defog on there, rub it in, rinse it off with some fresh water, and I'm ready to go on my dive. It's very important that this mask gets prepped after you purchase it, because there is a silicone film that's on the glass after the manufacturer creates it that you need to get rid of. And I usually do that with a lighter and a toothpaste. Stick around to the end of the video and you can follow along as to how to properly prep your mask to avoid fogging. The snorkel is important with the mask as well. I have the simple snorkel, clips on to my mask on the left side. This is usually when I'm beach diving or snorkeling, or if you're free diving, of course, you need one of these. The next item we have are the fins, carbon fiber fins. These are free diving fins. Scuba divers usually wear shorter fins, but when you're hunting, you need the extra kick that these fins provide. They're very flexible and they don't strain your calf muscles. They give you a lot more power than regular fins do. You go a little faster in the water with less exertion. Next up, we have the wetsuit. I dive with an open cell wetsuit, 3mm wetsuit. That's the top. And here's the bottom half of it. It helps to protect you from the elements. It helps to keep you warm. And if you're hunting, it's a pretty wise thing to have because it helps protect you from your catch. Because, you know, there's a lot of sharp parts on the different things that we catch. And, you know, this is just another level of protection on your skin. Along with the open cell wetsuit, you need some form of lubrication in order to get into the wetsuit without causing any damage. Basically, we completely lube the wetsuit and lube our skin as well to slide right in. Another link in the description below if you're interested on seeing how to put on the open cell wetsuit properly. Next in the bag, we have the dive watch. My watch allows me to know exactly how long I've been under, what my depth is, what the water temperature is. There's so much information that this watch gives you, especially when we're doing multiple dives for the day. It's important for me to know what my last dive was so that I can take the proper amount of time to off gas in between dives before I get going on the next one. Next up, we have the regulator in its own regulator bag. For the same reason that I put the mask in a bag, it's for its protection. It's a very expensive item of equipment, and you don't want to just throw everything in the same bag, especially when, this is one of the most important things when you're a scuba diver. This is how you breathe. So you want to make sure that it's protected at all times. I'll just give you a look at my setup. I have a transmitter that is linked to my watch. This allows the watch to tell me how much air I have left in my tank. So that's another way for me to monitor. So it's a backup solution because the gauge also tells me how much air I have. It's easier to just look at the watch and see versus grabbing the gauge from where it is to see, but it works as a really good backup. So I have a redundant system to know how deep I am, how long I've been down. Okay, next up, we have the BCD. So I'll show you what's in my pocket. I have a pocket on this, and in there, I keep some other very important items, such as gloves. You definitely want to always have your gloves. It's very hard to catch lobster without gloves. Grabbing them, you'd probably tear open your hand trying to do that without any protection on your hands, as well as shooting fish. You shoot fish, a lot of their spines, the fins, they all have sharp fins. And when you're handling that, you need to have gloves on. So this is a very important item. My dive knife. There's a few reasons for this as well. This can help you in a sticky situation. Maybe you get caught up in a line. Maybe you need to free something from a line. You need to cut some rope that you find down there. This is to put the final kill on your fish. If it's not a kill shot, there's several reasons to have the knife. Always carry one with you. Next in the pocket, I have my socks that go with the spearfishing fins. I have a backup knife in the pocket. The other knife is actually on my leg while I'm diving. This one stays in this pocket. In this pocket as well, I have shears. These I usually use for lionfish spines, to go ahead and take them off while I'm in the water. It can be used for cutting line or anything else that you might need a scissors for. I have a lobster gauge for when we are lobster hunting. I also have a noisemaker that get the attention of my buddy divers just in case they're too far, and because sound only travels so much. Last but not least, inside of the pocket, I have an extra mesh bag. Always need your flashlight when you're hunting, be able to see under the ledges. So I keep that clip to my BCD with a retractable clip. This way, while I'm using it, maybe I need to use my hand to aim. I can't quite see under the ledge. I'll just use my left hand. This goes back and forth, and I'll stretch it out as far as I need while I'm holding the gun in the other hand. These clips are very handy. I have quite a few of them set up on my BCD. I'll dive into all the various clips that I have and my particular BCD setup on another video where I'll go into a little bit more detail, but I'll just show you what's in front of you right now. I have a retractable clip here and here. Usually I clip the lionfish spear that I use to shoot lionfish on this one, and I'll use this one to hold my lobster snare, because it's very important that you are hands-free and that equipment is clipped onto you to give you another point of contact, because if you try to carry all of that stuff in your hand, you're bound to lose something. Trust me, I know. Let's see what I'm thinking. And then aside from that, I have regular bolt snap clips. This can be used for anything. Sometimes you just need to be able to clip it to something that needs to attach to you, so it's very handy to have a few extra of these lying around. Here we have a DSMB. This is I always travel with this. It gets clipped to my BCD. This is just in case I need to signal to the boat. It could be an emergency purposes. Maybe I got separated from my buddy and I'm not carrying the flag. I have the reel so that I can deploy it at depth. And yeah, this stays on me every dive, once I'm scuba diving. Now we'll move over to the accessories that we use. Here's a lionfish polespear. This is what we use for the lionfish. 3-prong polespear. Pull the rubber and let it fly. So I have one of these. I have another polespear that has an interchangeable head. This particular one right now has a paralyzer tip on it, just like the other one. But there are several options of different tips that you can use. So I can use this to shoot regular fish as well. I just swap the top of this with a regular spear head, single piercing spear, and that's it. This is a fish stringer. As you can see, I have a bolt, a snap bolt on this, as a snap clip on this as well. Another thing that, you know, I don't have to have in my hands, especially if it's empty. Like I'm just getting on the dive, I don't have to worry about holding this when I'm diving in. This I use if we are not using the boat, or if we go on a charter boat where I can't use my, my toothless floats to send the fish up to the surface. I'm diving with this. You basically take this end and you stick it through the eyes of the fish, and then you close it up and you continue about your dive until you find the next one, and you keep going until this stringer is full. Next we have a mesh bag. This can be used to hold lobster or any fish that can fit inside of it. This is another option to hold stuff. You can put garbage in here. Maybe you find a plastic bottle, go ahead and remove that from the ocean. You can put that in here. So this is another option for bag I use, you know, when I go diving. If I don't have a lionfish bag with me or a ZooKeeper with me, I use my scissors to clip the spines off the lionfish, and then I can put them in this bag. Next, I have a lionfish bag. This bag is specially made for lionfish. This material is made to resist the spines of the lionfish so that you can carry it safely. The only time that hasn't worked is when it's overstuffed with lobster and lionfish, and they're kind of pushing against the walls. I've had the spines come out in that kind of situation. But in normal use, you shouldn't have a problem with this bag. There's a zipper on the bottom so that when you are back on the boat or at home, you can just let the lionfish out this way and you don't have to go digging for them on the other end. Now, the thing that eliminates having to carry those last two items, which were the lionfish bag and the mesh bag, is the ZooKeeper. The ZooKeeper is used for when we are seeking lionfish, which is all the time, right? This is definitely not going to poke through. So whereas if that lionfish bag is under tension and it can end up having those spines poke through, this is not gonna happen. So I know we started off with what's in my dive bag, but these are items I use as well on every dive that don't quite fit in my bag. I also carry my Toothless, the lionfish bag. This we can attach to the ZooKeeper and send the lionfish bag up to surface once we have completed hunting lionfish. Along with that, while we're on the boat, I carry the ToothLess Spearfishing System, the 6-pack. Basically, these are the float bags I use when I make a catch. I would detach one of them, open it up. It basically works just like the stringer does. You take the stake, pierce it through the fish's eyes, and you can inflate this and send it up to the surface, and you no longer have that catch on you, so that you're not attracting unwanted company. Sharks. I also carry an extra mask, because you just never know what could happen on your dive, and you don't want the dive to be completely ruined. If something goes wrong with your mask, you can always grab the second one. This we use to hold the flag that stays above the surface so that the boat that we're diving with knows exactly where we are located. This point gets attached to the flag, and usually this is either on the end of my spare gun or clipped to my BCD. The lobster snare, this is what I use to catch lobster if I'm not using my hands. This has more of a reach than my hand ever would. I can use it to put behind the tail of the lobster so that I can get them to come out of their hole. And this is one of the things that I said is clipped to my BCD with the retractable clip, where I can just grab it, pull, and clip it apart when I'm ready to use it. You guys stick around. I'll dive in a little more into a few of these items. There's so much more depth to some of them, such as the BCD. I can show you exactly how I rig my setup, because it took me a while before I really found the sweet spot of where I wanted everything to be, and maybe it'll help you. Until next time, guys, stay salty.